Okay, so this is something that I'm currently working on right now. I guess I would call it a supernatural thriller. It's set in a small rural town in North Michigan, and the year is 1890. I'm just going to leave you with that. Here we go. Duel set the horse heart down in front of Black Star. The heart was enormous. It filled the dinner plate, sitting in a rosy pool of its own blood. To Duel, it looked like a monstrous lump, like something hauled out of Howell Swamp. Above the dinner table, a black chandelier cast a pale electric glow. Duel blinked in the light. Black Star had recently introduced electricity to the house. Duel was still getting used to electric light. It did something strange to his sleep and his dreams. Now, when Duel went into town, he scoffed at the common people with their oil lamps and candles. These living flames seemed so tenuous to him now, so unpredictable. But the electric light was steady, constant. It was seductive. All it required was for him to flick a switch and it would pour forth. Something about that was so alien to Duel, and that's precisely what fascinated him. "Would you care for anything else, sir?" Black Star looked up. Duel felt an icy ripple across his skin. Even now, after all these years, those eyes still had an effect on him. "There was no time to read the Post today," said Black Star. "Bring it to me." "Yes, sir," said Duel. He went for the paper. Black Star read 6 papers every day. He liked the Post the least and therefore saved it for last. Duel returned with the paper and set it on the table beside his employer. Duel looked again at the cold horse heart. The banker had yet to touch it. The old man was so fastidious in his eating habits. It always surprised Duel when these nights came around. Black Star always ate mashed oats boiled in milk, and this only twice a day. But every so often, the old man got a hunger. He would send Duel out to one of the tenant farmers, always someone behind on their payments, someone in debt to Black Star. Duel would go out to the farm and pick the prize horse from the lot. He would shoot it in the head with a pistol, then carve out the heart. For this, the farmer would have their debt forgiven. Duel could never figure out how the old man ate the whole thing. The hearts were massive. What's more, they were uncooked. The lumps of muscle must have been tough as leather. But on these rare occasions when Black Star demanded a heart, Duel would always return to find the plate clean. Bone dry, in fact, as though every last drop of blood had been sucked up. After these meals, Duel swore that the ice in the old man's eyes grew colder, and his will, which already seemed unstoppable, grew stronger. "That'll be all," said the banker. Duel took one last look at his employer. Black Star picked up a fork and sank it into the tough muscle. The sound made Duel sick. He turned and left the room as Black Star began to consume the heart under the cloud of steady, white light. The tiger and the little girl appeared the day after Timothy was taken by the sheriff. Abigail pulled on her coat and boots and stepped out into the snow. The lonely road stretched off into the countryside. Abigail began to walk, and when she had gone a mile or two, the trees began to lean in from either side. In some places, the treetops touched and darkness crept over the road. Abigail approached one such spot. The tunnel scared her. It was always dark there, even in the middle of the day. There was a small brook that burbled beside the road in the summer. The sound of water rubbing against the stones was normally soothing. But in that dark spot, the sound took on a haunted quality. It made it seem as though everything there was looking back. Abigail entered the shadowed tunnel. The little brook now lay frozen. Abigail followed its path beside the road until she came to an ice pool. Something small was sticking out of the ice. When she got closer, Abigail saw it was a frog. The unfortunate creature was frozen half in and half out of the ice. It was a brown frog with black spots, and its gold-black eyes bulged in death. Abigail wondered at the scene. The temperature must have dropped suddenly one fall night, and flash froze the ice, trapping the poor creature. How long had the frog struggled there with its lower half frozen beneath it? How long did it take until the heart stopped and the cold glaze of death came over those gold-black eyes? "You're always alone." Abigail jumped back and stared. Standing at the edge of the pool was the little girl. She wore her blood-red dress with the black roses splashed across it. Her long black hair, uncut, fell to her hips, and her luminous eyes stared back at Abigail with the weight of eons. Behind her, lying on his belly, was the tiger. The orange fire of his fur was like burning coals against the white snow and gathered shadows. "I am not always alone," said Abigail. "You come upon me in the fields and forests. In those places, I am alone." The little girl stared back at Abigail. The light in her eyes grew brighter, and when she spoke, Abigail heard the faint tinkling of bells. "Where are you going?" Abigail spoke through her fear. "I'm going into town, to the prison, to see my husband." "The bad man took him," said the little girl. Behind her, the tiger thumped his tail on the snow, and Abigail saw 2 green flames flash in the shadows. "They're going to kill him," sobbed Abigail. "Blackstar's got the sheriff in his pocket. They're going to hang Timothy for a criminal." Abigail began to cry into her hands. "You must keep the faith," said the little girl, and the tinkling of bells grew stronger. "You must believe that your husband will be saved from the hand of Blackstar. You must fight."